Hey, what's up? I'm gonna be reviewing the live stream that Nick Fuentes did with Clavicular.
Whatever passion I have, I don't really know yet because I'm someone that gets hyperfixated on one thing at a time. So for a while I was hyperfixated on politics when I was growing up in high school. Then it kind of evolved into looks maxing, and whatever comes next, I'll use my pursuits and aesthetics to my advantage to make.
That sounds like somebody who's lost, who doesn't know what they should be doing in their life. We all know it deep down, but it's repressed, suppressed.
Things go a little bit easier.
When do you say you're going to be maxed? What's the maximum amount of looks that you're going to achieve?
I think I'll reach my max looks maybe in about a year and a half to 2 years.
And what's the protocol? What's going to go into that? What's next on the checklist?
So what's next on the checklist is something called a double jaw surgery. Now this is going to be done with implants. So I'll pull up the design here for you guys. And I'll
Nothing necessarily against the surgeries for sure in general, as long as you understand that they won't fix the actual problem. Surgeries just cover up the symptom, usually. When it comes to aesthetic surgeries, obviously there's actual surgeries that can save your life and your legs and whatnot, but if we talk about those kind of surgeries, it's only for you to look better, of course, and that's not going to change anything for your children, for example. The only thing that could change it would be food. He is now older. I don't know how old exactly the guy is, but he probably wouldn't be able to make any significant changes anymore, if any at all, through nutrition, which is why he's doing that. That's all clear, but I think that his mindset is more so that that's how you actually fix the problem. The problem in this case being, I guess, an underdeveloped jaw. I don't know what exactly he's dealing with.
Show the camera. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw on TikTok, but obviously I showed you this yesterday. So they're pretty much going to do a downgraft on my face to elongate it a little bit, advancement of the lower mandible and the upper maxilla, give the face.
Right, yeah, okay. As I thought, it's simply a lack of development, which he wants to then cover up, I guess you could say, so-called plastic way, as they say, plastic surgery. Yeah, then it gives you the appearance as if you were developed differently. That's it.
A little bit more depth, and I'm going to do that in conjunction with, more gains, more physique. So I'm someone that uses exogenous hormones, and I want to know your take on this, because my whole thought process with exogenous hormones is sure, the aesthetic benefit of being bigger. It's nice, having a more dominant frame is going to.
Yeah, a more dominant frame. Maybe I can agree with that, but my view on muscles and bodybuilders and everything changed a lot over the years. Back when I used to work out myself, I also thought that it's at least, not that it looks good, but it's at least somewhat appealing in some way. Nowadays, I don't see it like that at all. I just really think that it looks bad. He doesn't really have much mass as far as I can see. I wouldn't even know that he is taking anything. Maybe he only started now. But all of those guys who just try to look super big and flex all the time and everything, it's just pathetic, really. And it doesn't look good. It looks good when you're in the community kind of part of it, especially if you're really deep into it, but in the end you just realize that only well-developed bones look good. The muscles, yeah, it's good to have a normal amount of muscles, sure, but not what people are doing today in a gym.
Help you in business negotiations, politics, whatever. So I'm doing that more so for the reason that if you're trying to be natural and listen to these wellness guys, the shit that they're saying is so fucking absurd. They're wanting people to spend hundreds of dollars a week on supplements, ashwagandha, certain types of underwear.
Okay, we can agree on that. Yeah, ashwagandha is poisonous. Of course, it's totally dumb. Supplements are poisonous anyway. What you're taking is even worse, most likely. I don't know what exactly he takes.
EMF shirts. And I'm like, fellas, can we just acknowledge for one
EMF protective underwear isn't really such a bad idea for your reproduction.
Second that maybe it would be a little cheaper in this economy just to use synthetic testosterone, and that way you could eat fucking Popeyes, and I have
Yeah, but then you won't be able to produce your own testosterone anymore. How is that good? And your testicles are gonna shrink. That's one of the side effects. And it's toxic anyway. You can overdose on it. It has an LD50 value.
to deal with all this bullshit. And this really doesn't get through to all these influencers' heads because they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on the supplements that they're selling to people. So they're like, what do you mean? You know, eating...
A lot of them understand that the supplements are useless or even harmful. They just care about the money. That's it. I have talked to some of these people. They just care about selling as much as possible. That's it.
A grass-fed ribeye every day is not, you know, it's not unrealistic. It's like, yeah, but, you know, when most people are on welfare, it starts to get into crazy territory. So what do you think about that, about, you know, exogenous hormones?
I don't know. They kind of scare me. I mean, doesn't it make it so you can't make testosterone naturally, or is that a myth?
That's a myth. So, you know, while you're on the hormone...
What are you talking about? People hop off that after years and they can't produce testosterone anymore, or very little at most. What is he gonna say now, man? That's just a straight up lie.
Your body does stop producing the testosterone endogenously. That is correct. But, you know, once you stop taking it, you will be fine. And if you want to ensure that, you could go a step further, take something called HCG, which is basically going to signal the receptors in your brain to start the production of the natural T again. But that's a common argument that people give is, oh, well, you know, you're not going to be able to produce testosterone naturally. It's like, well, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to stop.
You're never getting off? You're going to be on it forever?
Yeah, probably because he knows that it's a lie, because he would have problems. And if he's gonna really do that, he's gonna look very old. All of these guys do. It really ages your whole body, and it's visible because of how aged your skin will be. Yeah, this guy is gonna regret it for sure.
Yeah, why would you not want to operate at a higher level than the average normal? That just doesn't make...
Yeah, that's good, but if you do it naturally, not like this. If you do it naturally and you're happier and healthier than most people, that's great, then you're winning in life. You can't win by doing something unnatural and going against nature. This he also doesn't understand right now, but later in his life he will get it. Because when you go against nature, oh, you will pay heavily. There's going to be a lot of suffering. It doesn't matter how you go against nature, just anything that you do against nature, which is what this reality is based on, there's always going to be pain and suffering.
I don't know, it just freaks me out, like doing a shot every day and getting all jacked up and stuff. How often do you do it then?
Twice a week.
Oh, okay. That's
so
crazy.
It's really about 1 to 2 minutes of time expenditure a week. Versus if you want to have your testosterone in the higher end of the natural reference range, you're going to be spending a lot longer than that, making sure you have 8 hours of sleep and this thing, and, you know, grounding on the fucking grass every morning.
Yeah, what? Grounding on grass? What are you talking about? But anyway, he probably got some stupid information from some video or article. He doesn't even understand anything about it because he takes synthetic hormones, which is why he has no idea how to even increase it naturally anyway. That's not what he teaches. That's why he has no clue about it. Yeah, he's a clueless guy, that's for sure. As I said in the previous video, just clueless about a lot of topics. Maybe he's not clueless about taking drugs and whatever. Not that it's really something that you should be proud of.
I promise you testosterone is going to save you a lot more time.
What about Batista, though? Wasn't he...
Yeah, but it ages you tremendously, and in the end, it just makes you sick. Why not simply eat naturally, look youthful, and also if you want to go to the gym, then use the testosterone for that, but what you naturally produce, keep your testicles at a normal size also, have them function, and then you can, if you want to impress people somehow, which isn't going to work that way, whatever, that's a different topic. You can go to the gym and do it, but then you're not going to be unhealthy while you do it. You eat liver, heart, tons of fat, make tons of testosterone yourself. That's the way to do it. Then you can be healthy and strong.
On steroids and he got off and now he looks like a skinny little guy. No, Dave Batista from wrestling.
Oh, Dave Batista? Yeah, I mean, obviously when you're juicing and stuff like that, you're going to be, you know, a lot bigger, and when you come off, the gains aren't really going to remain as much. because a lot of these
Yeah, because working out in general, whether you use PEDs or not, is all about adapting your body to pushing and pulling metal. It tries to adapt to it. You have tons of stress, create tons of wrinkles, reduce your lifespan. You do it day after day, month after month, and for years, and then your body is really adapted to pushing and pulling metal. But then you stop, and of course, it goes back to its natural state. Why does it do it? It's because your body doesn't want to be in that state. What is your body? It's you, meaning that you don't even want to be in that state. You don't want to have all of that muscle. You want to be lean, so to speak. A normal amount of muscle, some good amount of fat, but not too much, just the way you naturally should be. And you want to have big and well-developed bones. That's what you really want. Working out is absolute bullshit.
These guys are using compounds that kind of make their abdomen, more tight and stuff like that. Like if you're using antibiotics, it's reducing your visceral fat. So when you come off, you don't have that same like roided out look. Like these things are giving you like a drier look. So sure, you lose the gains, from the testosterone cycles. Or
by the way, what he was mentioning, Vitaly ZDTV, who's in a Filipino jail right now, I believe. He also had a sort of transformation. That may have to do with stress and the diet also. I guess that he's being fed a lot of rice and whatever, but still, he was clearly on something. I don't think that he was even hiding that. Then he got off it because obviously he wasn't getting it in jail and or whatever detention center or whatever he is at. And now he's a lot smaller. Yeah, visibly. But actually, he looks a lot better. He also lost some body fat, which makes him look kind of unhealthy. But besides that, it just doesn't even look good to have so much mass. It gives you the illusion that you're kind of bigger and wider, but the reality is that your bones don't actually truly portray that.
Whatever cycles you did when you come off, but that doesn't happen unless you come off. So you could restart your production, but no natural could hold that much muscle that these bodybuilders are holding while they're on gear. So it's not to say that it's not possible to come off, but it's not possible to come off and look like an IFBB pro.
So the plan is the double jaw surgery,
right?
And that brings it forward and makes it wider and bigger.
Forward and down.
And down.
A down graft, yeah.
Give a chab.
Yeah,
jawline.
That's the plan.
Then you're going to max out more of the physique.
Yeah.
And then you enter into whatever
passion is. Yeah, because I'm still a young guy. A lot of people don't know because I have a beard, but I'm only 19 years old.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Ooh, wow. I thought like somewhere in his 20s, not 19. Huh. Interesting. I wouldn't say that he looks old. He looks older. Not significantly, but maybe the drugs are already taking its toll.
He called me Unk.
Yeah.
He's like, how old are you? I'm like 26. He's like, I didn't know you're that old.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, Nick Fuentes is 26? Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, out of pocket for no reason, catching strays.
It's over.
It's okay, I'm Unk. It is over. It's so over.
But you look younger than me, though.
Thanks. It's true. No, I'm kidding.
So, when I think about that. But there was like I was telling you about this the other night. People will say like ridiculous shit about testosterone. They're like, oh, well, you look older than 19, so you must age at like this linear rate that's accelerated. And I'm like, that doesn't even fucking make any sense. So Santa Cruz and all the wellness guys, like they don't really know much about pharmacology and stuff like that. I had my interview with him, and every time I would try to get into the specifics of, what mechanism is going to cause the claim that you're saying right now, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know, I'm going to have to refer to an endocrinologist. And I'm like,
boom.
But what would it matter? We can see that I have reviewed tons of people who look way older because of synthetic testosterone, steroids. What else do you need? We actually see what's going on, how people look like before they start doing steroids and how they look like even 3 years later. There's significant detectable aging. Why exactly it happens? Firstly, you can't even prove why exactly. And secondly, as I said, it doesn't even matter.
I agree, though. The wellness thing is because if it worked, why wouldn't they put soldiers on that? You know, like when you need to be like a world-class athlete, a world-class fighter, anyone that's like getting paid the most money on earth to do anything having to do with strength or wellness, what do? Steroids, hormones, injections. It's never like, raw honey and like raw meat. You know what I mean? Like, if that really made people super soldiers, the Chinese would be feeding the fucking army there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but that's the whole point. They don't want them to be strong and intelligent. That's why they also shave their heads off. It's because then they all look like robots. They all look the same. They have no more so-called identity, if there would be such a thing. A sort of natural identity, if there is such a thing. Because hair makes you look different. It can really make people look different. Hey, here's this guy, this guy. You just have these lines of people who say, yes, sir, I look the same as this guy. We all look the same. Yes, we are just mindless robots. Yeah, it's much easier that way. And if they would be fed raw meat, they would realize what they are doing. Fighting for a country which doesn't exist. Wasting their life. Having no family. A failed life. Absolute loser life. Which will most likely end up in them being injured or actually dying if they go to the war, while the people who sent them sit back and actually eat raw meat, or at least a lot of meat, depending on who we are talking about. Yeah, come on, that's just obvious.
so I don't. It's probably healthy. Like,
I'm just saying, by the way, it's just better to keep them malnourished, but still alive enough, strong enough to go and fight. Of course. Just kind of keep them not in the middle, kind of below the middle, but not completely messed up. Yeah, feed them rice and dried military food and whatever. Yeah.
like in a certain sense, but
It isn't even though, because when you think about what raw honey is, there's actually no nutrients in it at all. It's literally just fructose.
it's just sugar, right?
Yeah, it's
What? What do you mean there's no nutrients in there at all? There's minerals, for example. I'm not promoting honey. I don't even really like most honey on earth. I've tasted a lot of it. Most of it is disgusting to me, but there's some good stuff out there also. No nutrients, just fructose. I mean, fructose itself technically is a nutrient, but even besides that, why do you say something so stupid? What the fuck? That's weird, man. That's just some weird ignorance.
literally just sugar.
Don't they say though it's like
Yeah, maybe if you buy fake honey in the US, which is actually just high fructose corn syrup, basically named honey. Just the label says honey and it's not.
makes you less allergic to the environment or something?
There's so many claims that have no evidence behind
Yeah, I
them at
don't
all.
buy.
What does it matter if there's evidence, if you mean some kind of stupid study or whatever, that doesn't prove anything in the end anyway. People say that they can digest food better, such as raw milk, for example. We are not really designed to be eating raw milk, obviously, from a cow anyway, as an adult, especially, but even as a baby, technically. Breast milk from a human being, yeah, that's normal. And the cow baby drinks the milk from the cow mother, that's all clear. But it does help with that and also other foods when it comes to digestion. And people do say that it helps them with their allergies. And what does it matter if there's evidence for it? That is evidence by definition of the word. If you look at tons of people and they all say, my allergies go away when I eat honey or bee pollen or whatever, well, then that's evidence that it does help them, right? It's the best evidence anyway. It's first-hand experiences that they have, which they then share.
So-
That's all bullshit. I eat McDonald's every day, so.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I'm almost there. I'm Shake Shack, like fucking Chipotle. So I love my McDonald's. McDonald's, a lot of people don't know this, but it's actually one of the more healthy fast food places you can
I
go.
believe it.
So, you know, they do use beef tallow on their grill. There's no
Actually, that is true. There's still nothing as such healthy about it, but they don't use seed oils, supposedly, which technically would make it a lot better, yeah.
seed oils. If you just get a burger and
Let's go.
a burger bun, no seed oils. A lot of people don't know that.
Quarter pounder is not frozen. You know that?
I didn't know that.
The Big Mac is frozen, the burgers are frozen, but the quarter pounder is a fresh beef patty.
Yeah, so there's that. There's the fast food. And they'll make another claim. This is the carnivore claim that is just absurd. They think that calories are not an accurate metric. So they'll say, well, if you're eating
What? Calories are not accurate in any way at all, whatsoever. What? I thought that everybody knows that nowadays. It's just a super vague way to measure something which can hardly even be measured. It's a total joke. Look at how calories are actually measured. The method of it is a joke. Of course, it's super vague.
these foods, these natural raw beef, raw, you don't have to count your calories, and it doesn't even fucking make any sense. And all of them believe that. Even the smarter guys with the medical degrees, like Saladino, he'll make these absurd claims, and I'm like, dude, like it's just fucking retarded. So the main thing that people.
But Saladino is a psychiatrist, right? Or am I wrong? Why would he know anything about it anyway? I'm not saying that he doesn't. He has researched many topics very well. Not saying anything against him, just as far as his credentials go, that has nothing to do with it.
People need to do, because it is very difficult to eat fast food, and have low fiber diets and Rice Krispie treats without exceeding your base, metabolic rate. You're probably going to gain weight for most Americans. That's where the GLP-1s come in. So people will say, oh, well, you have to go back before the time of all these processed ingredients so that you don't have to use all these peptides. Or you could just embrace the fact that people are trying to fuck with us in many different ways, in terms of our hormones, in terms of our health. So you might as well go about it according to science and stay current with the times. Peptides are the future. You're really not going to win the battle against the elites who want you to eat this fucking sludge. Like, you're not. You might as well just eat the sludge that they put in front of you and then use the peptides.
What? He understands that the so-called elites want you to eat sludge? Grain sludge, I guess? But then at the same time says eat it and use peptides and do drugs and surgeries. I can't even understand how you can come to this conclusion. That makes no sense to me.
Make sure shit doesn't go south. So that's my take. I'm not going to fight a losing battle about all this shit. It's not realistic.
Me too.
I agree that it's a losing battle. Of course, yeah, in the end, we can see how people are. Yeah, when you look at what's going on right now. And when it comes to food, people are eating green leaves and flowers, believing that it's healthy. And actual nutrition experts, health experts, promote it. They say eat flowers and green leaves. Yeah, you know that the battle is lost.
I buy into all that stuff. The raw, the local, fuck that, dude. I'm eating regular food. And but I'm kind of on a different, I'm like looks minimizing. I'm just like on the letting myself go trajectory. I don't work out because it hurts. I don't work out. It's too stressful, man. I don't like all that shit.
We gotta get you a
Wait, did he stop working out? No, right? Or did he? Because I made a video about him where he was saying how he doesn't like it.
Sure.
I'm a serial chiller.
Yeah, dude. I get it. I get it fully. People like these gym guys swear that they love going to the gym, and I'm just like, dude, just stop fucking lying to me. Because I've gone to the gym every day for 4 or 5 years or whatever. I fucking hate it. Okay.
Oh wow, he can actually admit that. Wait, 4 or 5 years? So he's been working out since he was like 14, 15? That's interesting. Wow.
I'm just using
so base.
I hate that shit, but I do it because it gives me some sort of gratification of better physique. But
yeah. And then in the end, you realize that this better physique is actually a worse physique. And that's when you really start realizing that you need to stop it. Maybe that will happen eventually.
Process itself, it's like, dude, don't fucking lie to me that you enjoy, physical exertion. It's like, what? Like, who are we lying?
Oh, very cool that he realizes that. Oh, I'm surprised.
To
so true.
And the other thing that these carnivore guys, like what you have to realize about them to realize how fucking this whole thing is that they're GOTA specifically, I don't want to call out the entire community, GOTA specifically is using this sort of as a means to save like the I'm like, dude,
I like GOTUS.
He's a fucking idiot.
He reviewed my video and he's like, no, Nick is right. Working out is painful because we shouldn't do it. And
yeah, exactly. Nice. I had no idea that he had seen my video. That's cool.
I was like, where has this guy been?
No, dude.
We need to put people onto this guy.
He's not base.
Who discourages working out.
He's blue pill.
Yeah. What does he mean by blue pill? I wonder. We'll see. But I would like to do a video of some sort with Nick. Some kind of collaboration. Or just discuss working out. Maybe just one topic, whatever. But I wouldn't know how to contact him. I think that he's on X. I don't have an X account. Well, I do actually, but I don't use it. Yeah, if anybody knows how to contact him, or if you know him somehow or can contact him, I would love to talk about this more, because this is a very important topic, this whole gym culture that we have today. I would also do it with Clavicular, but I don't think that he's really open or that he even wants to.
Dude, he's blue pilled. So like if you really, so, you know, I'm not going to speak too much on this, but if you really think that like saving like European culture is like the pinnacle of your life, it's definitely not going to.
Does he believe that that's what my life is about? It's a topic which I have talked about. It's not that I'm that much into it because, as I said already, the battle is already lost and Europe is already done anyway. It's been done for years and there's nobody who's going to come along and save it. It's completely controlled, the whole so-called opposition. I'm just trying to help out as many people as possible, and that really goes for everybody overall, because my videos are made for everybody anyway, right?
Be through fucking dietary measures. Like, fuck you, dude.
He says fuck you to me for telling people that you can change and save your life, essentially your health, by changing what you eat. That's so weird to say fuck you to me for that. And at the same time, doesn't he also promote Accutane? I may be wrong, but Rehab Room does, and that also doesn't make any sense because at least Rehab was saying that you should be using it instead of eating natural food and then you have no acne. That would make no sense if he also promotes Accutane. But even with the jaw, let's say you have some subscribers. Okay, the younger people will fall for it. It's a given. Too much misinformation, disinformation, especially nowadays out there. But let's say that you have some guy who's like 30 already. He watches Clavicular. He now has a child. He wants the child to be as well developed as possible. If this guy is going to put the child on drugs and will send him to the gym and whatnot and make him do surgeries, how is that going to be a solution for the next generations, his whole bloodline? That doesn't help them whatsoever. The only thing that would help is for the baby to eat what he's naturally supposed to eat, or she. Most people on earth today have braces, underdeveloped, malformed jaws. The teeth are just a symptom, obviously, of what's going on with your upper and lower jaw. And then the face, the jaw specifically, is simply not going to grow the way it's supposed to. You don't have enough space. And then that's why you don't see that on a young baby typically. But when they hit the ages of 3, 4, 5, 6, then if they are not nourished enough, you will start seeing the teeth not having enough space because the jaw is not developing the way it should. It's not genetic whatsoever in any way, 0% genetic. It's that it's not developing enough because of malnutrition, and that's why he also doesn't have the jaw which he wishes that he would have. It's not a genetic problem. I think that maybe he believes that it is, I would assume, and he maybe believes that you cannot fix it any other way, and that's why it's so dangerous to spread this kind of ignorance, because his subscribers will now believe that even if they cannot do anything about it, if they are too old, their children will also suffer the same fate, which is not the case whatsoever.
Like, if you want Europeans to mog and do all this shit, it's gonna be through exogenous hormones and surgery and all this stuff.
So synthetic hormones, drugs and surgeries, how does that make sense to me, I wonder? Because development is nutritional. You're nourished or malnourished. How would this actually help anybody? You would just be covering up the symptom of being underdeveloped, but how does it help you? How is it supposed to help any population on this earth if you will be taking drugs and doing surgeries covering up the real problem, which is malnutrition? I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. Who is this going to help? And that's just one of the problems. You're not even going to be happy whatsoever when you do that. Weird, super weird.
That I'm talking about, not fucking raw meat. So fuck Otis for that shit.
He's a raw meat guy?
Yeah. So
I didn't even know that. I just knew he hates working out.
I understand the ignorance and everything behind it. I don't really understand the aggression towards raw meat. Yeah, say that it's disgusting, you don't want to try it, whatever. I don't understand the push against eating raw meat, especially when you see how people develop so well when eating raw meat, especially during the times when they are developing, or even drinking raw milk and growing tall and everything. That's what I don't get. How is the solution drugs and surgeries when all that you do, as I said, is cover up the symptom?
Fun stuff.
He's pretty funny because he'll take the raw steak and he'll go in front of like a vegan rally and just start like munching into it, which is disgusting, by the way. It's completely wretched to eat like these animal organs and all this shit.
It's the best food on earth. It's the best tasting food. You just haven't tried it. That's why you say it. I think that his view on this, hopefully, will change a lot over the years. He's only 19. Yeah. I've seen too many cases like it.
Just revolting to see it, but it is funny when he trolls the vegans.
That's pretty funny.
Because like as much as I hate carnivores, I do hate vegans more.
That's true, yeah. I'm not into the carnivore thing. I think that's too much meat. I don't think we should eat that much meat. What's your take on that?
No, because
It would be interesting to discuss all of this with Nick, the working out, even the meat, whatever he wants to. I think it would be a pretty interesting conversation.
you know, they fully deny the whole thing about cholesterol, but like in terms of heart disease, like cholesterol is real. Like you can't just be eating fucking 3 pounds of steak every single day and expect not to have some sort of...
Yeah, but the cholesterol is the precursor to the hormones which you're taking synthetically. And that's going to cause its own problems because it's not really real. You can get stuff which is going to have an effect on your body. It has a purpose. It functions somewhat, but it's not the natural hormones, obviously, which your body produces out of cholesterol. Going against fat and cholesterol, it makes no sense again. A lot of what he says doesn't make sense really overall. It makes sense from his perspective because I guess that he's trying to sell this idea, this way of living. I understand that, but why would you want that instead of developing well, having high testosterone naturally, having healthy skin, looking youthful and so on?
Early onset heart disease. It's just a myth. And they'll make...
But even the mainstream doesn't even believe that anymore. Why does he push this lie?
Outrageous claims like, oh, you know, if you're insulin sensitive, then LDL cholesterol doesn't matter. And it's like, well, not exactly. So it's like there's a lot of lack of nuance and they don't really specify things like this.
Overall, it's pretty much what I expected, but I didn't know that he's so deeply into the drugs and surgeries. He even became somewhat aggressive when he talked about me and even said fuck you to me for promoting the food that humans eat in nature. And those are the well-developed humans which he probably would even look up to if he would be exposed to them in real life or even on video. Maybe he just hasn't looked into it. No matter how many drugs you take or whatever you do, synthetically, whatever man-made solutions you believe you have to your problems, when you look at naturally well-developed men in this case, but also women, of course, you're going to see that nothing can replace it. They are well-developed, healthy, have high testosterone, are more intelligent. Everything is better when you follow nature. He somehow believes that you can get around nature. This is nature, but there's a way around it through drugs and surgeries. How? And what about the next generation? What's going to happen to your children if you will have any? They will also take drugs and do surgeries. The solution is raw meat. Yeah, it really is. Natural food. That's how you fix the problem. The problem is malnutrition. Thanks for watching.